Somebody be my partner.
Who would be? I mean, really. I mean, we're a tag team. We don't need to be split up. Alan and
If anybody's going to win this thing, it's going to be me and Jason Kincaid.
Whoa. Somebody's talking about the street sweepers. Ain't no street sweepers. It's pleasure and pain. No more street sweepers. There's no street sweepers. You could be Ebby and Avery, huh?
I mean, we might be tagged together. I mean, this is crazy. I don't want to be tagged to your partner. I'm not tagging this is gold. I don't want to be in it.
Fans, next week we've got Tag Team Turmoil.
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys that had been away haven't changed, had much to say. But man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. I told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town, boys are back in town. I said, boys are back in town.
Fans, welcome to another exciting edition of AWA Apex Studio Championship Wrestling. I'm your host, Josh Hawkins, and we have a special show lined up for you today where Tag Team Turmoil is in our main event. 4 teams will split up and will be assigned with another partner from another team. Elimination style rules, and only one team can remain. But for now, let's go to the ring for some shooting star action. Our opening contest is scheduled for one fall with a 10-minute time limit and is for the AWA Apex Shooting Star Championship. Introducing first from parts unknown, weight unknown, the Death Falcon Zero. And his opponent from Inez, Kentucky, weighing in at 307 pounds, the AWA Apex Shooting Star Champion, the Scufflin' Hillbilly.
Boy, the Death Falcon Zero is looking extra buff this week, but I tell you what, he's going up against that mountain of a man Hillbilly.
They're locking up right now, Flex. And there's the Hillbilly overpowering the supposed brute force of the Death Falcon Zero.
Yeah, Death Falcon Zero is supposed to be the brute in his little clique there, but I don't know if that's going to carry over very well. I don't know that will do anything for him here today against the Hillbilly.
The big mountain man Hillbilly, always wearing a smile on his face. And he's wearing one in the middle of the ring right now. And still yet with the tie-up right there, forcing the Death Falcon Zero over in an opposing turnbuckle. And the Scufflin' Hillbilly is swinging him away by his head.
Hillbilly has the benefit. He's experienced the Death Falcon Zero in the past, as many of the fans who've been out here at the Apex Studio Arena live every Tuesday night have seen. They know that the Death Falcon Zero and the Hillbilly are no strangers to each other, especially the chicanery that Death Falcon Zero likes to pull off with that mask.
And as you can see, the Death Falcon Zero are arguing with referee Monty right there. And the Scufflin' Hillbilly getting the crowd fully behind him. He's raising Cain right here at the AWA Apex Studio Arena. And the Death Falcon Zero trying to scoop him up for a slam, but to no remorse. And the Hillbilly hammers him down with a forearm shot, scoops him up, and connects with a big power slam right there. Drops down with an elbow, goes for the pin. And a near fall right there, and the Death Falcon Zero barely got that shoulder up at the last second.
Barely got it up indeed. I thought Hillbilly could have had him.
The Hillbilly there hammering away, throws him off the ropes, And what a big clothesline that was, knocking the Death Falcon Zero out from under.
Man, as of late, Hillbilly has looked more and more dominant all the time. He seems to be picking up momentum week by week. I tell you, eventually, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to touch this guy.
The Scuffling Hillbilly, definitely an interesting landmark in the Shooting Star division. There is a big splash right there in the turnbuckle, and he's wearing away the Death Falcon Zero.
Shoots him into the corner, going for the... Well, I thought he might be going for the deliverance, but the Death Falcon Zero was wise to move out of the way, Jack.
The Death Falcon Zero quickly snaking his way out of harm's way. He's got the Scuffling Hillbilly connecting with the side headlock right there in the middle of the ring. Hammers him in his throat.
Looked like a carefully applied chop to the throat.
And he's down there choking him out in the top rope right there. And driving in that big knee into the gut of the Scuffling Hillbilly. Keeps driving in those knees, and referee Monty's going to have to pull him off the Scuffling Hillbilly. And there's a big boot right there in the second rope. He's got the Hillbilly hanging off, and the Death Falcon Zero's choking him out.
Yeah, Monty's going to have to get in the game here, take control of this Death Falcon Zero, or he's just going to run all over him.
Choking him out right there. And the Death Falcon Zero looking very aggressive.
Monty may have to enforce that 5 count and disqualify Death Falcon Zero if he doesn't straighten up.
The DFZ looking very aggressive in our opening contest right here. Choking out the Scuffling Hillbilly, using the ropes to his advantage, and there he is doing it again.
And you know, Jack Hawkins, I can't help but notice that Death Falcon Zero's been a lot more vocal as of late.
Lately we've been seeing the personality, the true personality of the Death Falcon Zero.
Yeah, there was a time when I'd wondered if Professor Danger had removed his vocal cords, but however, he's had quite a bit to say lately.
Saying that he's a womanizer, a cheater, a stealer.
Here we go to the outside. As I was suggesting, Monty may indeed be losing control of this one.
They're outside here, right in front of the crowd right here, against the steel ring guard.
Boy, the Big Hillbilly loves to fight, and this is just the kind of stuff, this is just the kind of action he likes. Oh, hammer and shots. You can hear him echo through the building.
Time's running out. And the Scuffling Hillbilly, he's scuffling away with the
That's going to be it.
Zero.
That's it.
We've got a double count out right here, fans. The Scuffling Hillbilly will retain the Shooting Star Championship. But they're still brawling away right here at ringside.
We might need some help to break these. Oh, my goodness.
Big savings sales event. The Home Show Beckley. We make owning your home affordable.
The staff of the Home Show Beckley made us feel like family. Purchasing our new home was easy and affordable. Thanks for making our dream home a reality.
Come in today and see how Home Show Beckley can make you feel right at home. The Home Show Beckley. We sell dreams one home at a time.
At the Home Show. At the Home Show.
The Inkwell Body Art Emporium, tattoos and body piercings by Kate. Choose from thousands of designs or have Kate design one for you. Over 8 years of professional experience, safe, clean, friendly, and affordable. And we also have a large selection of body jewelry available. Southern West Virginia's most reputable body modification specialist. The Inkwell Body Art Emporium. Welcome to your new addiction.
Wrestling fans, AWA Apex is going on tour May 6th in Sabine, West Virginia for Mountaineer Mayhem Gauntlet for the Gold. 2 wrestlers will enter and 1 will add every 60 seconds. May 12th, the Apex Studio Extra in Oak Hill, West Virginia. May 14th in Princeton, West Virginia. May 20th in Mullins, West Virginia. And, of course, every Tuesday night at the Apex Studio Arena right here in Oak Hill, West Virginia.
Man, I tell you what, Jack Hawkins, it feels good. It's going to be great to go back to Summersville, great to go back to Princeton, great to go over to Mullins. The Battlestar Flextasy has entered Earth's stratosphere, and the pride of the plateau has been on sabbatical in Planet Hollywood.
Wrestling fans, the AWA Apex is going on tour. May 6th in Sabine, West Virginia for Mountaineer Mayhem, the Gauntlet for the Gold. 2 wrestlers will begin and 1 will be added every 60 seconds. May 12th, the Apex Studio Arena Extra with an 8:15 bell time. May 14th in Princeton, West Virginia. May 20th in Mullins, West Virginia. And, of course, every Tuesday night at the Apex Studio Arena right here in Oak Hill, West Virginia.
Let me tell you something right now, Jamie Hawkins. I want to tell all the stinking Americana fans out there, if you want to see real wrestling action, then you need to come and see the Cuban Commandos, the Cuban Assassin, and the Sergeant. We're going to be in every single town. It doesn't stinking matter because we're going to be the stinking winners. Viva la Cuba! Numero uno!
Fans, welcome back to AWA Apex Studio Championship Wrestling. And right now we've got some action getting ready to start right here in the ring. Let's get these announcements out of the way to make this singles competition match official. Introducing first from Havana, Cuba, weighing in at 256 pounds, the Cuban Assassin. And his opponent from Planet Tollywood, weighing in at 235 pounds, one half of the AWA Apex Tag Team Champions, this is Flex. And what a matchup this is going to be. Flex facing off against the Cuban Assassin, the very man that he took the Apex Tag Team Championship away. As our 2 competitors are getting ready, Flex is looking great. My co-host, he's looking very focused against the Cuban Assassin. And there's the ringing of the bell, fans. So much aggression with the Cuban Assassin. Very focused on Flex. With so much heat between the two, there's the lockup right there. And the Cuban Assassin quickly working on the big arm of the man they call Flex. A nice reversal right there from my co-host. A drop toe hold right there. And the Cuban Assassin went for an elbow but missed. As he backs away into the corner. The Cuban Assassin looking very surprised at how Flex has been absolutely focused in late. Applying the side headlock. Throwing him off the ropes. And there's a big brutal shoulder tackle from Flex. And a near fall right there. Flex nearly toppling over the Cuban Assassin within the first couple minutes of our matchup. And there's the Cuban gaining quick control right there as he threw Flex right into face first into the turnbuckle. He's working him down and wearing away at the physical culture guru, Flex. Or so he likes to call himself, especially when I'm in the middle of commentating in a match. And another near fall right there. There's a reversal from the Cuban Assassin, working on the arm and a big standing clothesline to knock the feet out from under Flex. And he's wrenching away. He's got him in a sleeper hold right there in the middle of the ring. Nowhere close to the ropes for Flex to reach to break up the hold. And it looks as if Flex, one half of the Apex Tag Team Champions, is in some desperation due to the hands of the Cuban, stomping on the upper back right in the spinal column of Flex. He's setting him on the ropes. A big forearm right there. Shoots him off. And there's a big back elbow right there. And Flex is in desperation. A near fall right there. And what an upset that would be. The Cuban Assassin working away with various submission holds right there. Working on the arms and the various different pressure points of Flex. Bending his arm back behind his head. And it looks as if the Cuban Assassin is attempting to hyperextend the arm of Flex. A very serious situation right there for my co-host right. How is he supposed to work away with an injured arm later tonight in Mountaineer Mayhem, the Gauntlet for the Gold? The Cuban Assassin working away, and he's looking at one of the various weak points right there in Flex. The Cuban Assassin biting away on the hand of Flex right there. And referee Monty had to break up the hold. But the Cuban's quickly back on top after some interesting words right there. Flex needs to be very careful in facing off against the Cuban Assassin. I've said it once and I'll say it again. He's one of the dirtiest players in the game. And the Cuban Assassin is known to look into the future. A near fall right there by the hands of Flex. A nice reversal. Another quick 2 count. But as I was saying, the Cuban looks greatly into the future. And he's looking to wear away in Flex. To where Flex might not be such a standing factor in the Gauntlet for the Gold tonight in Sabine, West Virginia. The Cuban's working down on Flex. And Flex being my co-host, but what I have to say is the Cuban, he's trying to injure Flex right now. And there's a big knee right in the rotator cuff. And there's a prime example of what I'm saying. He's trying to injure Flex so he wouldn't be such a standing factor in such a big match that we have on our hands tonight. And right now, my co-host is absolutely being manhandled by the hands of the Cuban Assassin. Working on the arm once again, trying to hyperextend that arm. Trying to get Flex to tap out. He's back up to his knees, though. And fighting away. Do what the Cuban has been doing since the beginning of this match. Tries to throw him off the ropes. There's a quick reversal. And there, Flex is setting up for a backslide right there. Going for the pin. 1, 2. And another near fall. I thought Flex had this match said and done. There's the Cuban Assassin grabbing the head and hammering it down in the opposing turnbuckle right there. And Flex is starting to wear away. There's the Cuban Assassin raking away into the face of Flex. And I don't think the crowd is... They're not agreeing at all with what the Cuban Assassin is doing against Flex right there. There's a big back body drop. And Flex once again in desperation. And another near fall. The Cuban Assassin back on top. Working on the submission maneuvers. Trying to cut off the oxygen to the brain of Flex. He's got him in a rear chin lock position right there. And I don't think Flex even knows where he is right now. Flex is trying to find that adrenaline rush. He's trying to get the crowd behind him to help him get that rush behind him. And there it is. Flex is starting to find that fire inside. And the Cuban trying his best to hold on to that submission hold. Flex is back up to his feet, working off the Cuban Assassin, bouncing off the ropes, ducking one clothesline. There's the other. But there's the Cuban back on top with another big knee straight into the gut of Flex. And there's the Cuban Assassin marking away on Flex. Mocking on the powerhouse that Flex has built single-handedly for himself. The Cuban Assassin scooping him up and connects with another big slam right there. He's going off the ropes and misses the elbow right there. Right at the very last second, Flex gets out of the way. And this could be the perfect opportunity for Flex to get back on top. Blocks the blow. Blocks the second, and Flex is hammering away back on top of the Cuban Assassin. He's looking great. The adrenaline rushes back. And Flex running full force. And the Cuban Assassin nails him with a big boot. And what's this? It looks as if the Cuban's reaching inside of his boot right there. He's grabbed something, and referee Monty's not even paying attention. He hammered on Flex right there. And the Cuban Assassin has been disqualified. Referee Monty saw the foreign object right there that the Cuban Assassin had right there in his hand. Hammered right against Flex. Flex your winner by disqualification, fans. The Cuban Assassin has been spotted out. Working away with his cheese tactics with the foreign object, fans. We'll be right back after this.
The Inkwell Body Art Emporium, tattoos and body piercings by Kate. Choose from thousands of designs or have Kate design one for you. Over 8 years of professional experience, safe, clean, friendly, and affordable. And we also have a large selection of body jewelry available. Southern West Virginia's most reputable body modification specialist. The Inkwell Body Art Emporium. Welcome to your new addiction. The Inkwell Body Art Emporium, tattoos and body piercings by Kate. Choose from thousands of designs or have Kate design one for you. Over 8 years of professional experience, safe, clean, friendly, and affordable. And we also have a large selection of body jewelry available. Southern West Virginia's most reputable body modification specialist. The Inkwell Body Art Emporium. Welcome to your new addiction.
Fans, welcome back to AWA Apex Studio Championship Wrestling, and we're ready right now for Tag Team Turmoil. Fans, welcome to our main event, Tag Team Turmoil. The Tag Team Turmoil rules are as follows. single elimination by pinfall, submission, or countout, and also if a team gets disqualified. When a team loses, they will leave the ring. Last team standing wins, and the pairing of the partners took place before the match, and each team must compete with their assigned partner or be eliminated.
Well, I tell you what, this is about the most exciting edition of Apex Studio Championship Wrestling that I can ever remember, man. This thing is absolute chaos, and I'm loving it.
Introducing Team 1. From New York, New York, Nick Pleasure. And his partner from San Francisco, California, gorgeous J.C. Lynch. And now introducing Team 2. First from Nitro, West Virginia, Awesome Alan Lynch. And his partner from the Badlands, Wes Lynch. And now Team 3, first from San Francisco, California, Young Shane Storm. And his partner from New Brunswick, Canada, Brett Taylor.
Whoa, check that out, Jack.
And now introducing Team 4, first from New York, New York, Jay Payne. And his partner from Scarborough, West Virginia, the pride of the plateau, Jason Kincaid.
Yay.
And now before the contest, each team captain drew straws to see who starts first. Let's see who it is.
You said they drew straws, huh? Man, Jack, I tell you what, I'm getting a little confused here. I'm going to need you to help me out. Wait a minute. Man, what is Brett Taylor doing?
I'm hoping that Brett Taylor is just going along the lines of trying to help his newly assigned partner.
Boy, I tell you what, the mad scientist that came up with this idea, Jim Cornette or whoever's behind this, man, this is absolute chaos. I can't wait to see what happens.
The bell is ringing in tag team turmoil, and it looks like starting off we have Awesome Alan Lynch and Shane Storm. And what a match we have on our hands, Flex.
Collar and elbow tie up. Alan takes the arm.
And he's wrenching away on Shane Storm to open things up. And there's Shane quickly going back with a nice reversal right there. Working away on the arm of Awesome Alan Lynch. There's a standing armbar right there.
Now wait just a minute. Who's Alan's partner again?
Awesome Alan Lynch's partner is his own brother, Wes Lynch.
Oh man, this is an interesting dynamic here. It's my understanding these two guys hate each other.
But they are blood. And I always thought that blood was thicker than water, but evidently not between Awesome Alan Lynch and his brother Wes.
So you're telling me that I'm going to get to see, the fans at home are going to get to see established tag team stars here at Apex. You mean we could have like gay on gay here today?
Quite possibly. We could see Pleasure and Pain facing off against each other. We could see the newly assigned team of Alan Lynch and Jason Kincaid.
No, that's Jason Kincaid and Flex. I'm the tag team champion here, Jack.
Yes, you are the tag team champion, Flex, but we've seen Jason Kincaid and Alan Lynch working together in tag team action as well.
Well, I tell you what, this Brett Taylor has put together some weeks of action here like never before. This guy is on fire.
Alan Lynch looking great with a beautiful drop kick right there, leveling out Brett Taylor. A quick 2 count. And Alan Lynch working away on the back of Brett Taylor in some
Look at that. Wes Lynch refusing to tag in.
The refusal for the tag right there, and that opened up a spot right there for Brett Taylor to tag in. Shane Storm and gain the upper hand of Awesome Alan Lynch. A nice spinning heel kick right there.
Beautiful spinning heel kick. I believe you might have him.
And another near fall right there.
Boy, I tell you what, referee Monty's already had to throw one match out today, and I say with the dynamic involved here, with the players involved, there's a great chance that something here this thing could spill over. Chaos could ensue.
Alan Lynch trying to get under the feet of Shane Storm right there. He saw it coming, and there's Jason Kincaid right there, back inside the ring.
Was there a tag?
Alan Lynch evidently was tagged out right there.
Oh, my goodness.
A nice spinning heel kick right there.
Look at my partner go, Jack.
Jason Kincaid looking great to start things off.
He's looking great indeed.
And it looks as if he's looking at the teamwork right here with Jay Payne. And they're looking great together to start off. Look at the double team maneuver right here. Oh! It's a sidewalk slam, and what a maneuver. We had a near fall right there. That was amazing.
My God, it was. You can never say enough about the pride of the plateau. Able to improvise, never tagging before with this Jay Payne. It doesn't matter. This kid's a machine.
And there's Jay Payne tagging in his partner, Nick Pleasure. And there's a big shoulder tackle leveling out Shane Storm right there.
Can't help but notice that Shane and JC got some rather exciting new gear on this week. Looking rather good.
But right now, Shane Storm's in some desperation right there. There was the exposed ribs. Jay Payne was tagged in by Nick.
What's the matter, Jack? You too macho to admit how good Gabe's looking this week?
I'm not really concerned with what they're wearing. I'm concerned with the action that's going on in the ring right now, Flex.
And what action it is indeed is a beautiful snap suplex.
And what I'm also concerned about, there, a 1 count right there. Shane quickly kicking out. But as I was saying, what I'm also concerned about is, Flex, is why in the world are you still wearing your belt right here at the commentating booth?
Don't you worry about it, Jack. I'm the champ.
That's got to be uncomfortable.
As he tags in Alan Lynch, here we go.
Alan's tagged in.
Oh,
and he hits Wes. He hit his brother right before he started hammering down on Shane Storm. Alan's on fire.
Yeah, you got to keep your eye on this Alan Lynch. Sometimes I think he deals from the bottom of the deck, Jack.
A nice drop kick right there in the face of Shane Storm. One. A 1 count right there. Shane Storm still got that fire inside. Trying to fight back. There's a nice jawbreaker right there to level things out against him and Alan Lynch. He's tagging in Brett Taylor and his interesting new gear.
Big suplex coming up. Bam!
A nice snap suplex. 1, 2.
That was executed perfectly. I tell you what, Brett Taylor never ceases to amaze me. This kid has really came along here along the last few months. This guy is a serious contender, I think, to all the titles here in Apex.
There's usually been a staggering comparison between Brett Taylor and most of his opponents, being that he has been known as such a small guy. But I'll tell you what, he's looking great today. It looks like he's gotten a little bigger.
Speaking of which, yeah, Dynamite comes in small packages, and JC's working over Alan. I tell you, once again, this the elements of this match are right all over the place. It's like you've got JC Lynch, you've got Alan Lynch, you've got Wesley Lynch. What's going on with these guys?
JC just tagged in Shane Storm, his partner in Team Gay. And now Shane's working back on top of Alan Lynch, hammering down. Alan's been bounced off the ropes. And Shane keeps back on top of him, grabbing him up by the head right there.
See another suplex here.
Setting up, and what a beautiful suplex that was, Flex. And another near fall. I thought that was it for Awesome Alan Lynch.
Wonderful suplex indeed. I don't know if I could have done it well. Yeah, I could have done it better myself, but it was still a great suplex nonetheless.
I don't see you in the ring, Flex.
And I'm glad, to be honest with you, Jack, buddy. This is all hell's breaking loose in this thing.
Nick Pleasure has been tagged in, and he's quickly back on top of Awesome Alan Lynch. Shoots him off the ropes. There's a drop toe hold right there. Quickly back into some shoot wrestling skills and into a nice submission hold.
Man, this is beautiful. Check this out. Look at Nick Pleasure.
Driving the knees right into the collarbone of Awesome Alan Lynch.
Oh, my goodness. That was a beautiful maneuver.
A nice bridge right there to make things even worse of Awesome Alan Lynch.
Alan may have to give this up.
I haven't seen this too many times before. We might just see Awesome Alan Lynch tap out in this. Jay Payne tag back in and hammering back down into the lower spinal column of Awesome Alan Lynch.
And rubbing it in. Well, no, actually, Wesley's enjoying this.
Wes is enjoying the fact that his own brother is being tore up in the middle of the ring right now.
What type of demented man is this Wes Lynch?
Wes Lynch is tagged back in, and look at him, hammering back down on his own brother.
Coming in with those opportunistic boots to Alan's chest, taking advantage of Alan while he's wounded.
A drop toe hold right there. Wes quickly got out from under Awesome Alan Lynch. Alan's back on the rope, and he's chucking him out.
Well, I tell you what, nothing's going to stop this Wes Lynch. This fire that he's showing here today, I haven't seen this before.
Wes tagging in Nick Pleasure, and there's Nick using the ropes to his advantage to choke out Awesome Alan Lynch. He's stepping back into the ring finally.
I believe he might have just been trying to get in the ring, Jack. That might have been a mistake. Inadvertent choke.
I'm not taking sides, but there's Nick Pleasure leveling out with a back suplex of Awesome Alan Lynch. And a near fall right there. Nick Pleasure picking up Awesome Alan Lynch by his head and driving in the big forearms. The big knee to the gut.
Big knee to the gut. He's going to shoot him off here. Big boot.
And there's the big boot right into the face. Right under the chin of Awesome Alan Lynch.
I don't know how much more Alan can take.
Jason Kincaid's been tagged in, and now he's working on Alan Lynch.
This is the matchup that I want to see. Jason working over Alan.
They've been partners in tag team before. And Flex, of course, Jason Kincaid, your partner. But there's a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker right there. That was looking great.
Beautifully executed.
It looks like Jason's going for the JK-47. He plants it. 1, 2, 3. There.
Yes. Yes.
There's the
yes.
ball right there. Alan Lynch has been out. Fans
Alan
will be
Lynch
right
has
back
been eliminated.
after. We'll be right back after this, fans.
The Inkwell Body Art Emporium, tattoos and body piercings by Kate. Choose from thousands of designs or have Kate design one for you. Over 8 years of professional experience, safe, clean, friendly, and affordable. And we also have a large selection of body jewelry available. Southern West Virginia's most reputable body modification specialist. The Inkwell Body Art Emporium. Welcome to your new addiction.
Fans, welcome back to Apex Studio Championship Wrestling. And as the bell rang, we're under the second fall of Tag Team Turmoil.
Well, I tell you what, Jason Kincaid looking phenomenal. Eliminated who else? Alan Lynch. Out with the old, in with the new. That being me, the champ. And I tell you what, am I correct? Tonight in Sabin, twice the action we're seeing right here. 16 men in the ring at one time, Jack Hawkins.
And you would be absolutely correct, Flex. Sabine, West Virginia, the gauntlet for the gold. There's Nick hooking the leg at Jason, and we had a near fall right there.
Tonight in Sabin, my God, I don't know if the Chief's daughter's going to be able to handle it. I don't know, Miss Sharon's going to come unglued when she sees all the action.
And Shane Storm's been tagged in. He's going to face off against Nick Pleasure right here.
You know, I can't help but notice also with these new duds that Brett's wearing, him and Shane make quite a team.
I don't know what Brett Taylor's trying to pull off, and maybe showing off a new side of Brett Taylor, maybe. I have no idea what he's thinking right
Nick
now.
Pleasure and pummeling Shane in the corner.
There's a reversal from Shane, though. He's in JC's corner.
Oh, my. What is going to happen here, Jack?
What's Nick Pleasure saying right here?
Showing a little bit of homophobe here from Nick Pleasure. I can't help but wonder what's going on.
JC has been tagged in, and it looks like we might see some gay-on-gay action, like you said, Flex. Shane facing off against JC.
Well, the fans have been waiting for the gay-on-gay action, and now they're going to get it.
I don't know if I'm all about some gay-on-gay, but...
Ease up, Jack Hawkins. Let your guard down a little bit.
They're tying up. JC's got Shane in the side headlock, shooting off the ropes right there. There's a shoulder tackle. What's going on?
Oh, my God!
They're necking.
Oh, my God, Jack!
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. They're necking right here in the middle of the ring.
My eyes to see me. Is this really going on?
What's going on here in Tag Team Turmoil, Flex?
They don't know if they want to fight or...
Somebody tag somebody in. I don't want to... That was... There's Jay Payne and Nick Pleasure breaking up some interesting action, to say the least.
You know, I can't help... You know, that was one time I was actually glad to see Gay get caught from behind her. Well, you know what I'm saying, Jack.
Jay Payne choking out Shane Storm on the second rope right there. And Payne's back on top, hammering down on Shane. He just tagged in Nick Pleasure. And they're going to shoot Shane Storm off the ropes.
Oh, my goodness.
And there's another double team maneuver, and another amazing maneuver right there. We had a near fall. I thought that was it for Shane Storm.
I thought that was it for sure for Shane. What a maneuver that was.
Tagging in Jay Payne right now. And hammering down on the exposed lower back of Shane Storm.
Pain and Pleasure showing why they normally are such a great tag team.
And there's your partner, Jason Kincaid, tagged in right there by Jay Payne.
Here comes the Pride.
They're quickly back on top of Shane Storm. There's a double underhook right there. And what a slam that was.
Just as I said, this Jason Kincaid, he adapts. Look at this. Seamlessly moves into the offense, normally reserved for pain and pleasure and pain, but it doesn't matter to the Pride of the Plateau. This guy can do it all.
Beautiful maneuvers shown off by Jason Kincaid and Jay Payne. They're looking great as a team right there. Jason Kincaid with a near fall after he just about broke Shane Storm's neck with that brutal kick.
Nearly took his head off. Perfectly executed suplex, rolls right over into the pinning combination.
And this is exactly why they call him the Pride of the Plateau. Jason Kincaid is looking great here in Tag Team Turmoil.
Which is exactly why the Pride of the Plateau fits in anywhere he goes, and that's including Planet Tollywood, Jack.
And this is exactly why the Pride of the Plateau should be great in Mountaineer Mayhem tonight in the Gauntlet for the Gold. I think Jason Kincaid has an excellent chance to get on top.
Gauntlet for the Gold, we're going to blow the roof off the place. It's going to be twice the action, if you can imagine that, Jack. Twice the action that you're seeing here today. 16 men fighting it out.
And we've seen a big chaotic mess right here in Tag Team Turmoil right now. Hooking up, and what a nice suplex that was. But I can't possibly imagine 16 men in the ring. Twice as what we are seeing right now. It's going to be absolutely mind-boggling.
We're liable to rip the ring apart over in Sabin. We're liable to tear the building down.
Nick Pleasure's been tagged in, and speaking about the Gauntlet for the Gold, I think some people's heads might explode due to such excitement of what's going on here. But there's Nick Pleasure quickly back on top of Shane Storm, shoots him off the ropes. A drop toe hold right there. And quickly going back on top of Shane Storm with a nice leg lock submission hold right there.
Oh my goodness, he can break his leg.
And that could be the ruination of the opportunity for Shane Storm to get on the upper hand of Mountaineer Mayhem tonight.
The human leg is not meant to bend that way, Jack.
Absolutely not. And that, as well as the hopes for the Gauntlet for the Gold, but also the end of a career, could be on the hands right there for Shane Storm. Jason Kincaid quickly back on top, working away on the knees.
My God, look how effective he works over the leg. I tell you, Shane's going to have a hard time hobbling into the Grand Palace next time he's there.
Kincaid and Payne are looking great together.
I would say he'd have a hard time getting there tonight, but he'll be in Sabin tonight.
And Jay Payne quickly back on top of Shane Storm right there. And there's a boot right there to the knee.
I got to wonder how this might be affecting JC over there in the corner. He may need to throw in the towel. But he can't.
Dropping the knees and the boots right there by Jay Payne. Right on top of Shane Storm. He's applying all of his weight back on top of Shane Storm right there in the knees. And there's Nick Pleasure tagged back in. They're hooking him up once again.
Oh my goodness, what a maneuver that was. I believe he's broken in half.
A beautiful slam. And a near fall right there. I thought that was it.
They're going to turn Shane into a nightmare of anatomy here if they're not careful.
And Payne quickly tagged back in and straight back on top of those knees of Shane Storm. He's back off the ropes. And there's Shane Storm hooking back on top of Jay Payne. Rolls him over for a pin. 1, 2, 3, and that's it.
He got him. He got him.
Shane Storm out of nowhere getting the pin over Jay Payne. He's been eliminated. Fans will be right back.
The heart of this Shane is amazing.
The Inkwell Body Art Emporium, tattoos and body piercings by Kate. Choose from thousands of designs or have Kate design one for you. Over 8 years of professional experience, safe, clean, friendly, and affordable. And we also have a large selection of body jewelry available. Southern West Virginia's most reputable body modification specialist. The Inkwell Body Art Emporium. Welcome to your new addiction.
Fans, welcome back to AWA Apex Studio Championship Wrestling. And right now as the bell rang, we're back on the third and final part
Well, tremendous heart shown by Shane. I don't know if he can take much more, though, Jack. You know, he should have been eliminated several times in that second fall, but he held in there. He scored the pin, and here we are.
Shane Storm, out of nowhere, rising on top and getting control. Getting the second fall under his belt right there, but Nick Pleasure quickly back on top, and Shane Storm is actually drained.
And here's where the turmoil part comes into this match. We've got, what's going on here?
Nick Pleasure just absolutely leveled out Shane Storm right there with a big knee.
Wait a minute. Looks like we've got some company here, Jack.
And what are the Cuban Commandos doing out here? There's Devin Davis. We've got the Cuban Assassin and Sergeant Gunny Sims here at ringside. But that aside, there's more action going on in the ring.
This is almost more than I can handle from an announcing standpoint. I mean, here we've got Shane Storm. He's beat half to death. His usual partner, JC's in the corner pleading for him. But if he lightens up, they can stand to lose the match.
Shane Storm and Brett Taylor were looking great as a tag team there. Working great together in tag team turmoil. Nick Pleasure hammering away on Shane Storm there right now. Hooking him up for a back suplex right there, hammering down in the middle of the ring.
Devastating belly-to-back suplex, and I got to believe this is it.
1, 2.
My goodness, he kicked out again. You know, what is this guy? What kind of fuel is this kid running on today?
Shane Storm slowly making his way back up to his feet by the help of Nick Pleasure. A big knife-edge chop right there. And Nick just keeps backing him up into the ropes.
Scintillating chops, almost taking Shane off of his feet.
And there's Shane rising back on top. The crowd's going crazy to see the fight back. Brett Taylor's been tagged in.
Made the tag.
Hammering down on the exposed ribs of Nick Pleasure, and Brett Taylor is looking great, rising on top of Pleasure right there. Not at all worried due to the fact that the Cuban Commandos and Devin Davis are here at ringside, just watching every single move that he makes.
Raking the eyes, that was a good move on Brett's part.
He saw it coming. Nick Pleasure overpowering Brett Taylor right there, picking him up like it was nothing. And Brett quickly gaining the upper hand. 1, 2.
Beautiful roll-up.
I thought we had a near fall right there.
Executed with blinding speed by Brett.
Brett Taylor is looking great. And Nick Pleasure just tagged in gorgeous JC Lynch.
And now the Commandos have left.
What's going on here? This is exactly what I mean in tag team turmoil.
Aptly named turmoil it is. I tell you what, man. This has got to be so hard on JC the way Shane's been beaten in this match. But like I say, he could very well eliminate JC. Or Shane, or whatever. Man, I'm getting so confused, Jack. The excitement, I can't take it.
A nice series of reversals right there from Brett Taylor and JC Lynch. And Brett Taylor has not taken his eyes off of JC Lynch as soon as he was tagged in.
And the fans here at the Apex Studio Arena are just as confused by all this as I am.
They don't even know who to root for anymore. JC Lynch applying the side headlock over Brett Taylor. A side headlock takeover. There's a quick pin.
Beautifully executed headlock takeover.
And JC still back on top in the middle of the ring, holding on to that side headlock right there.
Brett instinctually rolling him up for the pin.
Back up to a standing position. They're shot off the ropes. And there's JC Lynch capitalizing with the nice shoulder tackle.
Nice hip toss by Brett. Deep arm drag takes him over and bars the arm.
Brett Taylor's looking great, attaching the armbar right there in the middle of the ring, and JC is in desperation due to the fact of Brett Taylor. Brett Taylor has been astonishing. I'm so surprised of how Brett Taylor's been doing in singles competition and how great he's working with Shane Storm, not his usual partner. But there's a splash from JC, capitalizing. JC's coming back on top, and there's the Bronco Buster right there connecting, and Brett Taylor has got to be humiliated over that.
This painful yet humiliating maneuver that JC utilizes so effectively in all of his matches. And I tell you what, we've seen tag team partners flare at each other, and I can't help but think that some of this is going to spill over tonight to Sabin. Everybody's going to be in the ring at the same time. Lord only knows what type of hell can break loose.
JC quickly tagging back in, Nick Pleasure. And there's a big karate kick right into the underarm of Brett Taylor. And there's Nick choking him out right there on the ropes. And it doesn't seem that JC Lynch is agreeing due to the underarm tactics of Nick Pleasure.
Now that we're down to this last fall, Monty is really going to have to assert himself. He's going to have to tap that AWA badge. Let these guys know if he loses control, it's over.
Nick Pleasure hammering down Brett Taylor. Give him a little room right there. And he's got him there toppled over on the ropes. He's picking him up. Hooking him up for a suplex. And a nice vertical suplex straight into a pin. And there's another near fall.
Once again, beautifully executed suplex by Big Nick Pleasure.
Snapmare takeover right there, straight into a submission maneuver
This
right
is
there.
interesting. Now that he's got that arm bar, now I think it's cinched in. This may be all.
A brutal submission maneuver right there applied by Nick Pleasure, and he might just yet have Brett Taylor tapping out in the middle of the ring.
We can hear the crowd starting to get behind Brett Taylor here as he rolls him over for a pin.
A near fall right there, and the crowd is so much behind Brett Taylor. Very, very surprising to what we've seen in the past. They're trying to help him find that adrenaline rush, that fight inside. As Nick Pleasure is working away, driving the knee into the back as he applies that rear chin lock.
And as I said last week, I can't help but notice that Brett seems to be acknowledging these fans. He seems to be enjoying their support.
Brett was trying to fight him off, but Nick Pleasure hammering back down.
No amount of support can prevent that, I guess.
And I think you'd be right. Nick Pleasure hammering back down with a nice backbreaker right there. Shane was hanging off the ropes. Nick Pleasure gave him a cheap shot, and the referee's distracted right there.
Now what's JC doing?
JC not agreeing with what's going on. And Nick didn't even tag. And JC wants absolutely nothing to do with what Nick Pleasure's trying to do right here in the middle of the ring.
You know, I gotta say right now, it seems like Nick Pleasure is the only guy that's involved in the match at this point that doesn't have some sort of outside interest.
A roll-up right there out of nowhere from Brett Taylor and Nick Pleasure kicking out and quickly back on top, stomping down. Brett Taylor's back face first into the mat as he backs him up into the turnbuckle right there.
Big punch, nowhere to hide in that corner for Brett. He's got to get out of there, and he's got to get out of there now.
Big shots from Nick Pleasure. He's backing up into the turnbuckle right there.
Oh, beautiful camera angle again, bringing the action right into your living room.
And it seems that Nick Pleasure has been hung up right there. It looked like he was about to dive
Brett's
right
got to
straight out
make
of
a
the
tag.
ring.
Brett's going to have to make a tag. These people, they're starting to get behind Brett Taylor now. They want him to make that tag.
The crowd very much behind Brett Taylor. He's trying to get back up to his feet, crawling his way into a designated corner to try and get some kind of tag. Nick's crawling back over JC.
Look at JC, he's torn.
JC has no idea of what he's going to do in this matchup right here. Hammering back down into Brett Taylor right there over in the turnbuckle, though.
You can literally see on the expression of JC, this guy is being torn to pieces inside.
And it seems that Shane Storm has a general idea of what's going on. He never knows what to rise on top of his opponent and gain his opponent and partner.
Both guys down.
They're both down, but Shane Storm not knowing of whether to rise on top of his opponent and his partner to gain the win or help out his partner, Brett Taylor, in this matchup.
How much more can these guys take as Brett's going to make the tag?
There's Shane reaching for the tag right there, and Brett dragged away by JC Lynch as he tags in Nick Pleasure.
I believe Brett could be injured.
Things are not looking too great for Brett Taylor at the moment, but he's fighting back as the crowd is cheering back away for him.
You can't help but notice this Brett Taylor with the support of these fans. He seems to be a new man. But I'll tell you what, no man can take the amount of punishment that he and Shane Storm have withstood in this match.
And Nick Pleasure right there with a cheap shot at knee straight into the groin of Brett Taylor.
I believe that was the lower abdomen, Jack.
It looked like it was in the groin for me because that's exactly what Brett Taylor was just holding on to. And Nick is choking him out. JC's not agreeing with what's going on. And Shane's worried about his partner right there in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, and we had another near fall, and I don't see how Brett Taylor kicked out of that one.
Here go these fans again behind Brett.
You can hear the chants of Brett Taylor's name right now. They're trying to help him get back up to his feet, to get back on top of Nick Pleasure, because they know that he can do it. and I believe that Brett Taylor thinks that he can.
All of a sudden, this competitive fire that burns inside of Brett Taylor has turned him into a fan favorite here at the Apex Studio Arena.
The tables have turned for Brett Taylor, and things are looking great for him as he's getting back up to one knee, trying to fight off Nick Pleasure. There's elbows to the gut. He bounces off the ropes, and there's a monkey flip. Nick Pleasure saw it coming, but Brett Taylor also saw the big buster right there from Nick Pleasure.
Once again, Brett has got to get out of the ring.
Brett desperately needing to make a tag right here.
Shane Storm seems ready.
Shane is reaching for the tag. JC's been tagged back in. Shane's made the tag. And Shane is hammering on Nick Pleasure right there. Throws him off the ropes. And there's a back elbow right into the chest.
Once again, the concept of this tag team turmoil. Boy, this was the brainchild of a madman.
A spinning heel kick right there. And yes, whoever thought of this, there's got to be something wrong with him.
Yeah, whoever came up with this idea needs to be seriously analyzed.
And there's Shane with a big kiss right there to JC.
What?
And look at the excitement on JC.
JC's like a schoolgirl.
As Brett Taylor has thrown JC back into the ring. Shane's on top of Nick Pleasure. And Shane and Brett are working great together.
Wait just a minute here. They shoot him in. Oh, my God.
They tried to shoot him together, but JC giving Nick Pleasure a 30-second Frencher right there. And
oh, my God. Look at Brett Taylor.
Brett Taylor just kissed JC Lynch. What's going on here?
What is going on?
What is Brett Taylor thinking?
Did you see the look in Brett's eyes?
It was as if... Oh, my God. And there's Shane Storm. And Brett Taylor hooked him up for the Over the Rainbow. This is
what is going on?
3.
Did you see the look in Brett Taylor's eyes? What is going on here, Jack Hawkins?
The expression on Brett Taylor's face was priceless. Shane Storm and Brett Taylor successful in tag team turmoil.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. And what did JC think about all this?
What's going on here, fans? The tag team turmoil aside, and our new winners right here, Shane Storm and Brett, tonight in St. B, West Virginia, Mountaineer Mayhem.
I'm getting in the car going to Saban right now. I can't get enough of this.
Mountaineer Mayhem, the gauntlet for the gold, fans. We're running out of time. We'll see you again next week for some more exciting action for AWA Apex.
Saban, Jack.